Okay, hello out there. It's me again, obviously. This is page 10 that I'm working on in part 4. um, Sort of already kind of started before I don't know. I kind of wanted to do this page and then I almost started off almost forgetting. So I've already got the first panel ready to go here. But yeah. Um, 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 um. Yeah. So, yeah, how are you all doing out there? I have to admit, I'm not really sure what I don't really have much to talk about, I guess. I'm just sort of making this up as I go. Probably going to be rambling on, like usual. Um, but, it kind of occurred to me I've been sort of like just in a daze working on this lately. I haven't really been putting much thought into, uh, recording for you guys. So I figure even if I come into this without really having anything to talk about, I'm going to record anyway. um, So it's basically we're heading up to a big climatic fight scene to sort of close off this piece. Um, but I figure I've got about 10 to 12 pages to work on it, which is quite a lot, given most scenes are anywhere from like 1 to 3 pages. I think even like sort of the big fight scenes in the previous books didn't go on 10 pages. So, at the same time, we've sort of got some answers to give out here. So we do need to tie up what's been going on. Sort of bring this into the larger series. Um, I don't know what's going on, I swear. Whoops. As if you're, hopefully you've been reading these pieces before actually viewing any of the videos. So as not to spoil anything here, but as you've probably already seen in the previous page, we found out it's his jock buddies are sort of awake and free and coming out of the upstairs office. And of course, like as far as Chase knows, they were all supposed to be strapped down to tables and drugged. That's what they're all supposed they're all in there for is to free them. So it's like I don't know what's going on, I swear. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I think that'll work. We will bold that. Oops. Edit. Undo. Edit. Undo. Edit. Undo. Okay, and since I cut that, it's on the clipboard, so I don't need to copy that. I can just go edit paste as new layer. Sort of probably there's no real thought that goes into which pages I end up recording and which I don't. It's not like I say, hey, this is going to be a fun page to show everybody. I'll record it. It kind of usually just comes up to when there's sort of like nothing else going on at the time. So we're going to have like 2 minutes here. That's okay. We can make a border. Sort of, I go through phases where I'll have the TV on for noise in the background while I'm working, and then there's phases, and then I'll go through phases where I just like keep the TV off and play music instead. But I think I've been in one of those TV modes. I think since I kind of made the decision to start um, giving you all a glimpse way back in Shrimp of the House Showtime. Paste as new layer. I'm sorry, I was kind of distracted for a moment. Uh, Edit, cut. Now let's see if I did this right. Okay, I wasn't that distracted then. Oops. Save as. We might as well get this saved for now, so I don't accidentally overwrite the blank guide, which wouldn't be fatal because I have like a copy of it in every basically in every folder, so I can just like grab it from somewhere else. Not to mention I've got everything backed up on an external drive, so you know, which that has saved me. I think at least once I found out I sort of overwrote a file with a different set, basically losing the entire set that it was supposed to be. So because I've got the backup, I didn't actually lose it. um, But yeah, I sort of end up finding like these old stations kind of entertaining. So you get like if you sort of watch regular broadcast TV with the antenna here in the US, since they went digital, like all the broadcast networks can now split their um, channel into multiple sub channels. So you'll have the main ABC, NBC, CBS stations, but then you've also got like a secondary station where they'll just play like older syndicated programming, and like all the little channels run on themes. So I end up like going between I think one called Comet, which is a sci-fi horror, a really old bad sci-fi horror mix, and then one called Grit, which is old westerns. And some of the westerns get funny. So like if you want something silly, like they switched it out for some reason, but they used to play the 50s Lone Ranger TV show, which is always fun. Which is funny because it's like the standard. It's like the plot always results in catching the bad guys the way that they did in TV shows back then, whereas you just like trick them into into like into explaining their whole evil plan and like gotcha. Lone Ranger, it's usually like, okay, Tonto, you and the sheriff hide behind this door, and when I get the bad guy when I get the outlaw to confess to his crime, you and the sheriff rush out and arrest him. Ooh, surely that hold up in court, Kimasabi. Exactly, Tonto. uh, I think they used to play like, oh my god, why is this going on? These weren't going on forever in the previous pages when I wasn't recording. Maybe that's what's going on. The recording software is slowing this down. I don't know. God, it was like their lineup used to be like the Lone Ranger, and then I think it's called the Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, which has its own funny moments. I have to say, I like one episode where they're holed up in some house waiting for whatever the gang of the week is to show up. So they've got time to sit there and prepare. And then when the bad guys show up and they start having the standard shootout, like there's all these well placed wagons out all over the yard for the bad guys to take cover behind. Gee, maybe we should have moved those so that the yard was wide open and they had no cover to hide in when they came. Nah, why would we do that? Or the Doc Holliday character is funny in that series. Like, shoot him in the back, Wyatt. Um, yeah, okay, let's cut that. Edit, cut. In the last month or two, they replaced both of them. So now the life and legend of Wyatt Earp has been replaced with Tales of Wells Fargo. And, like, honestly, okay, let me pause that thought for a minute. Although I'm sure you can probably see where this is going. But let me pause that for a moment to sort of get this next image set up here. I'm going to sort of bring these guys. It's sort of having this split level is sort of makes it hard to frame an image. Actually, let's move the hip. But Tales of Wells Fargo is hard to watch unironically. Like, in the wake of, like, all the scandals that have befallen and all their malpractice. It's like it really needs to be, like, it needs to be rebooted in today's time. It's like, my job is to recover the money. If we don't, Wells Fargo will have to open up 500 supplemental accounts on behalf of our customers. Maybe we'll have to sell them some insurance they don't need. Wells Fargo is in trouble. They call me to handle it. Today, we've got a senator on Capitol Hill calling our CEO out to wag her finger at him. It's my job to make sure she doesn't show up. Let's see. Like, part of the problem with doing the split scene, or I mean, with them on separate levels, is that if I do wide shots like this, I've got to really. Oh, come on. What is going on? I've got to, like, really zoom out, and then it makes for a narrow image. Come on, grab it. There we go. Oh. And the other side, too, is because they're not at ground level. Like, every time I sit and reposition legs, I've sort of gotten almost into a reflexive habit of hitting Control D to bring them to the floor. But since they're not supposed to be on the floor, if I go and do that, it's like I gotta remember not to do that, because that'll bring them down to the floor level, which they're not. Same thing with the characters on the stairs. I've got to remember to physically Oops, I don't want the I. There we go. I've got to physically place them. Whoops, I don't want him. Why do I have him? Where do I want to place BJ? No. Let's see which axis this is. X. Let's see. He needs to be looking at them. So let's twist side to side, that sort of thing. And then I've got to zoom out enough for the word bubbles too. And okay. And because this is on the left side of the page, let's move everyone over. Now that I've staged that, I'm going to basically undo it. And where can I put BJ? BJ might do good over here. Let's put BJ back there. He needs to be looking at them. Let's see. That looks kind of good, right? I'm going to have him pull back the punch because he's distracted a little. And the odd thing is, Elliot's been the central focus of this story all throughout. This sort of sequence here has gotten down between Rusty and Chase. Um, which I suppose shouldn't be too bad if I'm going to call this Rusty and Elliot and not Elliot. Rusty has to have some sort of a central role alongside as well. Let's see. Uh, let's see, bend. And you know, Sort of went through all the trouble of staging that again. Now we're going to go widescreen here. I think that's okay. I think I'm finally happy with that. So let's render that. Let's grab this one. We weren't in trouble, Chase. Far from it. We wanted to find out what made us like we did. Let's see. Far from let's that's good. Got that. Select none, edit, paste as new layer. Let's paste another one. There. I need another one. So let's paste another one. Oops, what just happened? Oh, I see what happened. That was on the wrong layer. Merge down, merge down, merge down. Oops, not they. Let's do, but she lied to us. Okay. The heck? Oh, this looks worse than I thought. Let's see. Okay. I don't like that. Actually, maybe I can take that A. Maybe that A. Yes, okay, that A will go down there. And on another front, I think I've been going on about how, uh-oh, okay. About how my mouse seemed to have died. So I ended up taking it apart one more time and couldn't actually fix what's wrong. I could jerry rig it so that it stops acting like it was acting. So the mouse is usable again, yay. Because of course I'm too cheap to run right out and buy another one. you know. Um, how long did that one take? 5 minutes. Okay, that one wasn't bad. Scale 44. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, this isn't quite. We're gonna have to do some. Okay, that'll work, I think. Let's see. Um, maybe a little more. Control. Once. I don't like there. For some reason, it doesn't sound. So we'll make it the. For some reason, it feels weird when I read that. So we're just gonna change that, and it's gonna stop doing this. Come on. Urgh. Hmm. Come on. Urgh. Stop doing that, GIMP. Okay, I think that'll work, right? Okay, I'll be happy with that. Um, cut. Select none. Okay, let's merge that down. merge down. Okay. So I got that where I want it. Okay, that looks good. Now, what can I do with you? I don't like this word bubble. So, let's take the lasso. And we're just gonna cut this out. Edit, cut, edit. Come on. Paste as new layer. Select none. And this is gonna be a two-part. Rotate it that way, and then flip it horizontally. And I'm gonna bring it down here, but I cut off too much, so let's... Okay. That's good, right? Okay. And then what we do is we just take a chunk of this box, Control C, edit, paste as new layer. Come on, select none. And then we'll just cover the hole like that. And then I can merge all three down. And come on, I need the head. Since BJ is really the only one of these guys who has a name. And because he's made a big deal about how BJ is his friend, I think it's... BJ needs to get a line in here. Um, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to undo the narrow a little bit. And also, I'm going to move him just so I can get a better angle on the head. Oops. There we go. This is going to look weird. And this is supposed to be number 45, right? Yeah, okay. On here, we'll just dump these. Okay. Render that. Control C on that. Oh, I think I didn't hit the C button very hard there, so let's see if I got it. Yep, I did. You want a trick case? Oops. What trick case? You just misunderstood. You weren't Jesus. I understood what you wanted. 1, 2. Oops. Undo. Okay, that will work. Oh, shoot. I'm not liking how this is looking, so paste as new layer. Select. Oh, I'm already. What the heck? None. Okay. Um, hmm. I don't like this dash here. Um, hmm. Let's stop that. Okay, maybe I can do this by hand. Whoops. Okay, I think that will work. I'm going to paste another one. There we go. Oops. I got time to give these a border. But oddly enough, like for a channel that shows westerns, they don't show as many John Wayne movies as I would have expected. Except for the last month, for some reason, they've dug out a whole bunch of John Wayne movies and have been playing them. Like, it's like I keep finding the what was I doing? Select invert. Like I keep running into the they run the old ones from the 30s before, like when he was like struggling to be a star, and the studio wanted him to be a star, but people weren't buying him, and they were just making like horrible movies, gimmicky movies. And it's because like back then the actors were usually on contract with a studio, and they weren't contracted to individual movies. basically all the movies were done by a single studio, so like everyone is sort of formulaic. It seems like he co-stars with like the same old guy and the same girl for a love interest. What am I doing? Edit. Cut. Let's see. Select. But, oh my god, they ended up playing the one where he plays the singing cowboy. I forget what the name is, but it was bad. The thing like opens up with John. Oh shoot, I messed that up. Okay. The thing like opens with John Wayne singing, and it's like, oh my god, please stop, please, John, don't sing, just stop. Like, oh my god. Or then like with the attitude. Well, I guess I don't know if it's like the attitudes of the day or the attitudes they were trying to portray from the 19th century. Is like another one where he comes in and he decides to go into business with the old guy who he knows from way back or something, and there's this whole backstory about how like the old guy's daughter is away at college and he sends her money, but she's coming back. So it's like, but she's coming back, and essentially like she went off to college and came back to be basically a housewife. So apparently back in the day, oh, I'm the wrong. Apparently back in the day, women went off to college to learn how to be housewives or something. At least that's the message I got from the movie. Like, oh my god. Let's see. How wide do I want to make this shot? At least like the typical role in the time period would have been maybe she becomes a teacher, like, maybe like something like that. But no, you pay to go to college, so you come home and cook and clean. Oh my god, what is the point? Wow. Let's see. Okay, now here's where I'm going to run into trouble with basically his arms being in the way all the time. I think this is going to get cut off the page anyway, so I don't have to worry about that, I think. um, let's see. Bottom down? Not that much. How about top up? That looks goofy. Perfect. I don't want to be any bigger, BJ. Oops. No, I don't think I've got the room to keep going on with this speech, and it's probably not going to add anything anyway. So, um, hmm, okay, I've got an extra space here. You know what? I'm trying to see if I can get this to another line, but it's going to be two. So this is going to be one of those cases where I'll just accept the stupid I at the end of the line, just for the sake of it fitting right. Paste as new layer. It's like none. Paste as new layer. Yeah, and I'm sorry for not being entertaining here, but oh, whoops, I forgot to paste paste the layer back, so we'll just do new layer again. Layer to image size. But the thing is, where I'm sort of expecting the upcoming pages to be just fight scenes without words. Um, they'll probably be even less entertaining because what'll happen is I won't have all the work here to do while I'm waiting for the pictures to render. So basically, all you're going to be seeing is me making the pictures and not really doing much on this page. Invert, select, shrink, select, invert, edit, cut. Okay, that worked. Merged it. Let's save since we haven't saved in a bit. Oh my god, we've got another minute or two. But yeah, then you got comet, which loves to show all these like really bad 50s and 60s horror sci-fi movies, which are mildly amusing. Like I think one with a funny concept is like, I think it's called like the Killer Shrews or something like that, where it's the idea is, it's like the main character is delivering supplies to a mad scientist living not alone, but he's living on an island with his daughter and his small staff or whatever, and like apparently like as part of his mad scientist plan, he's accidentally created a colony of giant shrews, which are basically like which basically they just take dogs and throw blankets on them, and for like the distant shots of the shrews, and then you've got really bad props that somebody behind a wall is moving around when they want to do a close up. Dogs in the blankets. What did I do? And then it's like, the idea of like man eating shrews by itself should be horrific enough, but since they can't actually show the shrews eating anybody, they have to add this like extra unnecessary layer to them, where like apparently in a previous attempt to kill the shrew colony, the mad scientist put out bait traps with poison, and instead of killing the shrews, the poison must have gotten in their bloodstream, so that now their bites are poisonous. Don't get bitten, or you'll be poisoned. They won't actually eat you like they're supposed to. So instead of like actually creating a prop shrew or a puppet shrew or something that they can have interacting, and instead of like actually using decent makeup work to show somebody getting eaten by one, we'll just have this like vague prop prop mouth touch somebody. We'll like say they got bit and then they get poisoned. It's like completely bizarre. Like, what the heck? Okay, how can we make a monster movie without a monster? Oh my god. Merge down. I think that's it. So let's save image. We'll flatten that. Go file. Export. And this is page 10. Dump those into the folder, and we will come here. I'm gonna kill you before your friends can get down here to save you. I don't know what's going on, I swear. They were in trouble when I left them. We weren't in trouble, Chase. Far from it. They wanted to find out what made us grow like we did. They wanted to duplicate it. But they needed us to find the formula. Since Blue Star drained that pool and made the ink disappear. Not Anne. I'm like seeing things. But she lied to us. She drugged us when all she wanted was a little blood. Why are you talking like you're defending all this? You weren't tricked, Chase. You just misunderstood what she wanted. And it's something all of us want, too. More size, more strength. But I don't want to be any bigger, BJ. Do you know how hard it was to fit in the truck when I went back for you guys? And that is page 10. I will see you all on the next one, whenever that is. And I hope as boring as that one was, you found it at least a little bit entertaining. So, ciao.